Hello, this is wmpyr. For today's video, this is just going to be for fun, and I want to talk about Terminator 1 versus Terminator 2, just because I saw the two movies recently. All right, and hopefully I could bring up a new perspective. I'm sure you guys have seen it a couple of times already. I've seen it many times. I own 1 through 4, so you know it's just one of those franchise films that I've enjoyed very, very much. Okay, so Terminator 1, back when that first came out, for some reason I thought it was a horror film. I thought it was going to be scary. I was told it was scary, and you got to understand, I was in elementary school at the time, grade school, and it was over in Japan, and I saw it on VHS with my grandparents, all right? And I was so relieved that it wasn't scary, because at the time I was not into scary movies. And I was like, you know what, this is basically an action film, all right? So I compared it to other action films. And at the time, I believe the action film that I was like all into was Rambo 2. And if you compare it to that, just strictly for action sake, I think the action is not as good as Rambo 2. I mean, what film is? Rambo 2 is like, has so much action. It's an incredible movie in my opinion. But if you think about it, Terminator it's kind of a sci-fi action. So for a sci-fi film, it's kind of impressive the amount of action that it has, you know. So anyway, I kind of didn't give it the credit that it deserved in my opinion. And when Terminator 2 came out, I believe that it was a worldwide phenomenon, you know. I remember a friend of mine saw it. It came out in the summer, so a friend of mine saw it, and he told me about it, and I was like, what did you think of it, honestly? The commercials look awesome, but like, did it live up to its hype? What do you think? And I remember my friend said that it was the best movie that he had ever seen in his life. And for me, then I got to see it in the movie theater, and I was like, wow, this movie totally lives up to its hype. And I remember at the time, this was like in junior high school, around that time when it came out for me. And in school, we had to read One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And I was like, I'm not going to read that. I'm going to read Terminator 2. So I bought the book, and I told my English teacher, I'm not going to read that. I'm going to read this. And my English teacher was like, you're going to flunk, you know? And I was like, I don't care. You could give me a 0 on the test already. I'm telling you right now, I want to read Terminator 2. And she was like, you know, back in the day, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was like the Terminator 2 of its time. Like, you know, people were really excited and into it and everything. And so I ended up reading it, and I also saw the movie with Jack Nicholson and everything. And it's well made, don't get me wrong. I'm sure the acting and the writing of the original novel and everything is probably way better than Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Okay, I'm sure it blows it out of it. But entertainment-wise, I still stick to my opinion that I think T2 is a lot more entertaining. So it was just, Terminator 2 was like, for a long time, you ask people like, name a film where the sequel is actually better than the original, and I think so many people would include Terminator 2 as one of those movies. I think one of them that's really predominant is Aliens, the second one. So you know, that's another James Cameron film. So that's very interesting. But so having watched it recently, my opinion has changed. I thought T2 was going to be way better, but I like Terminator 1 better, actually. Terminator 2 is quite campy. The budget is incredible. I think, especially for the time, it was like, wow, you know? Just like in the first 10 minutes of the film, you see like all these like car crashes and everything, just like nothing, you know. Those are just like almost like extras in a film. There's car crash here, car crash there. That's nothing. We don't even pay attention to that, you know. And it's like, wow, all the stunts, you know, and stuff like that. Now that you rewatch it, you can see a lot of errors, but still, what they attempted to do I think was very ambitious, is incredible. All right, so anyway, let me get to some of my main points here. Okay, one thing that I thought that was kind of very interesting was, all right, let's talk about Sarah Connor. In the first film, I think the whole interesting thing about it was Sarah Connor is just like an average girl. She's like this waitress, you know, middle-class American, you know. Her roommate is kind of like a moron, actually, you know. But she is supposed to be the mom of the savior of mankind. But here is this very unlikely person to be that. And she even says it in the first film. She's like, "Are you sure it's me? You know, I can't imagine myself like that." And then she even says, quite frankly, "I don't want this role." She even says that, you know. But then in the end, you can see that she accepts it, and actually she does quite well, because at the very, very end, even though the Terminator was already pretty much like, you know, half of it was gone and everything, she finishes it. She finishes the job alone, solo. She does it. She terminates the Terminator. So that's pretty impressive, you know. In the second film, it's awesome to see the transition of her becoming like this highly unlikely person, that it continues on. I guess it's already foreshadowed in the first one by the end, but in the second one, she's a warrior. I mean, she starts off doing these pull-ups in the psychiatric ward. Very, very impressive. The bad thing about the film, I think, is, once again, it goes with her, that she is not likable other than the warrior part, which, you know, the way she's operating the shotgun, firearms, like you can tell, like she's seasoned. She trained herself to train her son, and she's very, very used to all this stuff. That's excellent. It's not the same person from the first film, even though the actress is the same. That transformation is amazing, but if you look at herself, she's traumatized. She's not insane the way the psychiatrist, Dr. Silberman, is saying. She's not insane in that way, because in the film what she's saying is all real, but she's clearly traumatized. She is, you know, not nice at all to her son, even though, you know she loves him, but because she's showing her love in a different way, that she's, you know, almost cruel to him, and it's just really not likable at all, in my opinion. All right, and also to see someone who basically, she looks like someone that all of her humanity has been stripped away from her because she has to embrace this role. All right, and then she has like all this emotional drama going on in her head, where she, you know, the military side took over her, and she's like, okay, I'm going to go kill Dyson. I'm going to go kill Dyson. And then she can't do it, and she's like an emotional wreck. And then the speech that she gave to Dyson about men like you made the atomic bomb, and, you know, things like that. And if you remember, Edward Furlong was like, Mom, stop. You're going crazy, all right? So not likable, not likable. I think the audience is willing to forgive her for that performance. I mean, the character, sorry, not the performance, but the character, because of how strong and warrior-like she became. You know, we're willing to overlook that. Kind of like a professional fighter that's like a terrible, mean, violent person in the ring, or maybe even outside the ring, but if they're an awesome champion and they're dominating force, we overlook that as society does that for some reason, which is not a good thing, actually. But we overlook that because we like winners. We like people that look like they'll just, you know, they are reliable when it comes to action, you know. So we forgive them for all that, which I'm not saying is right. It's not right. But so I think we overlook that. Now watching this over and over again, you know, I already know she's a tough chick, but then I'm seeing the other sides of her, and not impressed with the other sides. And I think the same mistake is also seen in Hannibal, the Silence of the Lambs, what is it, trilogy or continuation. in the film Hannibal and also the novel, one of the reasons why I personally was not interested, and I think a lot of people do not like Hannibal as much as the other ones, like Red Dragon or especially Silence of the Lambs, is because Clarice M. Sterling, the main character, is jaded, you know, and not likable in that sense. She was supposed to be like this really hot stuff coming up because she hasn't even, in Silence of the Lambs, she didn't even graduate her FBI school yet, and she already basically caught a serial killer, and not just any serial killer. You know, James Gumb, you know? So that is impressive. And then from there, you're going, what is her career going to be like? And no, she was just beat down in a man's world type thing. If you read the novel, that's how she was. And it's very disappointing in that sense. So do you want to see a movie like that? You know, where the character is going to be disappointing in that sense like that. And same with Terminator 2. Also, another thing I want to say is Dyson. Let's take a look at Dyson. All right, Miles Dyson, the guy who was working on the CPU chip and the arm, the Terminator arm, right? They retrieved it basically from the first film, and he was working on new technology, reverse engineering. Very, very cool words there, you know. He was working on that, and you finally see Miles Dyson when Sarah Connor is going to assassinate him, and you see that this dude is he's just a guy, an average family man, loves his wife, loves his kids, working hard, trying to make some money, save up, you know, trying to do, you know, what probably most people are doing, living the American dream. He just found an opportunity that was very successful and possibly could change the course history of mankind. He just didn't know where it was heading, you know. So he's very innocent. It's not his fault. Now, that kind of goes along with the whole Sarah Connor type character, which in the first one, she was like this all-American waitress, right? It's not the warrior that you would expect it. So in this one, I'm thinking, what if they ever made a remake and they made it to where Sarah Connor is like, you know, when what's his face, Kyle Reese shows up in the first film to go, here, I'm here to protect you from this machine. He's like, and she's like, why? Is because you're going to be the mother of the guy that's going to save humanity. All right, you're going to give birth to the savior, this awesome soldier. And she's like, oh yeah, I could totally see myself doing that because she is already a warrior. She's the genes, everything. She's awesome, you know. I think that would be an interesting twist to the franchise, and I think that would be very, very cool, you know, that she is like this, almost like a female Arnold or something like that, female commando, you know, something like that. I think that would be very, very cool. And then also Miles Dyson, take a look at his character. What if he was also the guy, like, you go to assassinate him and then you realize, hey, this guy's a family guy, I shouldn't assassinate him. But then you see him and he's like this corporate a-hole who is like trying to exploit this stuff, sell it to military, you know, industries, not industries, but militaries all over the world, you know, kind of like, you know, just being a black market type stuff or whatever he can to milk, you know, milk as much money as he can out of this new technology. So he plays that kind of role instead of what we saw, you know, just like this totally has no conscience for, you know, society and humanity and doesn't care. He just knows that he has a very hot item and he's here to exploit it, you know, that kind of person. Kind of like if you've seen Aliens, the guy from what was it, Mad About You, that guy, he's actually in Aliens. I didn't even know until like I saw it not too long ago, but yeah, he's like the corporate a-hole there. So kind of like that, he was trying to exploit the aliens, and Sigourney Weaver was like, you cannot exploit these things, you have to terminate these things, you know, you have to exterminate these things. So this guy, let's say he teams up with Sarah Connor and everything, and is like, yeah, let's you know, let's go destroy it. But then he changes his mind, backstabs him, and stuff like that. I think it would be really interesting. You know, it would change the film quite a bit, I think, and it would be nice to see that. I don't know what you guys how you feel about that, but I think it would be kind of cool. And there's new possibilities that would arise from that. The other thing in Terminator 2 that was to me kind of a letdown was John Connor, okay, played by Edward Furlong, who tremendous actor and whatnot, but the guy as a kid, I mean, at first it's very interesting to see the dynamic between the Terminator and this kid and see how they interact together and actually see that the Terminator is also kind of a kid. He's like, you just can't go killing people like that. Why? You know, kind of, it's very interesting. But it also gets old really fast. You can't let the film be carried by an annoying kid. Actually, it becomes annoying really fast. I think at first he was cool because he was like this rebellious kid on a motorcycle and everything like that. And he was like, she's not my mom, Todd. And, you know, that was all cool. But then kind of turned into this whiny kid, like, mom doesn't love me. Yeah, she was locked up in this psychiatric, you know, ward. And we don't care about that kind of drama, I think. And it turned into a whiny kid. And I think the other problem was also with Star Wars Episode 1, when you had young Anakin. You know, look, for the story, it makes sense. It's just irritating to see a kid, you know, just, at least for me, unless it's like Harry Potter, all right? Harry Potter is like basically a bunch of kids trying to act like, they act like adults, in my opinion. They're very mature, and they're the ones saving the day, whereas like young Anakin and also Edward Furlong, to me, they were really like kids, you know, like, I don't know, they were just being real silly and stuff like that, you know. So to me, it would set the bar higher if the kids acted more like adults and stuff. So I would prefer to see that, a very mature kid, kind of like Lone Wolf Cub. If you've seen that, the kid is as awesome as the Lone Wolf guy, you know, as Ogami, and that is a huge bar because Ogami is so awesome. So to see something like that, to me, would be very refreshing, and I think I would like the film a lot more. So these are some, I know there's some radical ideas here. So, you know, hopefully you've enjoyed these thoughts, and if you care to comment below with some of your ideas. And thank you for watching, and take care.